physical features of the India, in which we know about the physical features of the India, which include the topography and the landforms which we see on the earth surface, which is the physical, and the context of India. There are the many physical present. First, we know about what is the difference between physiographic structure and geological structure. Geological structure defined according to the geological history, and the physiographic structure defined according to the endogenetic and the exogenetic forces. These are different on the then. According to which Indian's physiographic division are the Himalayan mountains, plains, peninsular plateau, desert, coastal plains, and the Indian desert. And the first topic is the Indian mountains. This is the 24-kilometer long from west to east, and 150 km to 4 km wide. In Arunachal Pradesh, 150 km. And these are divided into the many ranges, mainly three. First is a Himalaya or Himadri, second is a Himachal, and third is one is a Shivalik. Third one is a Shivalik, which is the outermost range of the Himalaya, called Shivalika. So know about the middle Himalaya, which is the folds of the Great Himalayas are the asymmetrical in the nature, means uneven. The core of the parts of Himalaya is composite of the granite. It is perennially snowbound, and number of the glacier distant from this range. The range lying to the south of the Himalaya forms the most rugged mountain system and known as the Himachal or the Lesser, which is the second. The range are mainly composed of the highly compressed and the altitude rocks, different types, and the altitude varies 3,700 and 4,500 kilometers, and the average width is 50 kilometers. While the Pir Panjal range forms the longest and the most range, like the Dhauladhar and the Mahabharat range are also prominent ones. This range consists of the famous valley of the Kashmir, the Kangra, and the Kullu valley in the Himachal Pradesh. This region is well known for the hill station. And third one is the Shivalik. Actually, Shivalik is a 10 to 50 km and have altitude varying between 900 and 1100 meter. There is a length of the Shivalik only 900 to 1100 meter, because this is the last range and the last one. These ranges are the composed of the unconsolidated material brought down by the Himalayas river from the main Himalaya range located farther north. Unconsolidated means they have a complex and the many rocks. These valleys are covered with a thick gravel and the alluvium because the river deposit its gradient. The longitudinal, which is the longitudinal valley lying between the Lesser Himalaya and the Shivaliks, are also known as the dunes, which is the longitudinal valleys. You see that is the longitude. These are the Shivalik, and this valley, which is known as the dunes, and the Dehradun, which is the one of the famous example of these valleys which located in the Himachal. And also Kolidun and Patali are some of the Bill dunes, which are the longitudinal valleys called those. Besides, additionally, the longitudinal division, the Himalayas are being divided on the basis of the region from the west to east. We above see the division of the Himalaya region from north to south, but it's also divided on the basis of region from west to east. In the west, in the part of the Jammu Kashmir, and the east part of the Arunachal Pradesh. This division has been demarcated by the river valleys. For example, the part of the Himalayas lying between the Indus and the Satluj has been traditionally known as the Punjab Himalaya, but it is also known as regionally as the Kashmir and Himachal Himalaya from west to east respectively. The part of Himalaya lies between Satluj and the Kali river is in the Kumaon Himalayas. So these are the division on the basis of the river, the Kali and the Tista, Demakritya, Nepal Himalayas, and the part lying between Tista and the Dihang rivers known as the Assam Himalayas. There is names also in these both categories. So we say that in the sense that Kumaon Himalayas, in the Kumaon Himalaya, in the Kumaon Himalaya is the Kali river between Satluj and Himalaya, then Kashmir, then Kumaon, then Tista, which is the Assam Himalayas, and the Brahmaputra, which is the easternmost boundary of the Himalayas. Beyond the Dihang Gorge, the Himalayas went sharply to the south and straight along the eastern border of the India. They are known as the Purvanchal of the eastern Himalayan mountains, and these hills running through the northeastern state are mostly composed of strong sandstone, which are the sedimentary rocks, and these are the composed of the unconsolidated rocks covered with a dense forest. The most parallel range and the valleys, the Purvanchal, comprise the Patkai, Naga, Manipur hills, and the Mizo hills, Gado. These are all hills in the Meghalaya. About the northern plate of the India. Actually, the northern plain of India formed by the interplay with the action of the three major river systems, which is the Indus, Ganga, and the Brahmaputra, which is also abbreviated as a big Brahmaputra, Indus, and the Ganga. Along with the tributaries, are the small river which join the main river. The plain is formed of the alluvial soil. The deposit of alluvial in a vast basin lying at the foothills of the Himalaya over billions of the years formed this fertile plain, and it is the new landforms comparison to the Himalayas and the peninsular plateau. It's spread over the area of the 7 lakh square kilometer, and the plain being about the 2400 kilometer long and a 240 to 320 kilometer broad. According, likewise, the Himalaya, which is also 20 kilometer, it is also 24 kilometer long, and 24 and 240 and 320 kilometer broad from in the north to south direction. Is a densely populated physiographic division. Why plain is populated? Because here the economic activities like occupation occur smoothly, and the development process also, like construction of the road. There is a not mountains, so road construction also cover easily, and the soil which is useful for the agriculture, which cultivated easily, and the many other factors. Industry also set off, and these are the region alongside the river, which is the important for source for the water. So they agriculture and use water for the other purpose. So this is the plain with a rich soil cover combined with adequate water supply and the favorable climate. It is a agriculture productive part of the India. So northern plain is a productive part of the India. You see in the figure, that is the plain area. The rivers coming from the northern mountains are involved in the depositional work in the lower coast. Due to the gentle slope, the velocity of the river decreases, with result in the formation of the river island. So how the river island forms, and this is a gradient. You know that when the river flow, it with the velocity and the some speed, it carries some boulders and the rocks, and when it comes from the Himalayas, and then we read about the Himalayas also divided into three ranges, and its height decreases. In the lesser Himalayas, it lost its velocity due to it act as a depositional work, and the rock and the gradient which it takes it a deposit. So it takes the formation of the river island. Do you know that Majuli in the Brahmaputra river is the largest inhabited river island in the world, which is the Majuli, formed by the Brahmaputra river. The river in the lower course is split into numerous channels due to the deposition silt. These channels are known as a distributaries. Tributaries and the distributaries. Then tributaries divided into many parts, and these are the tributaries. The northern plain is broadly divided into three sections. Just like we divided the Himalaya into three sections, northern plain is also divided into three sections. The western part of the northern plain is referred to the Punjab plains because formed by the Indus and its tributaries, and the larger part of this plains lie in the Pakistan. The Indus and its tributaries, the Jhelum, Chenab, and the Ravi, the Beas, and the Satluj, originally the Himalaya. The section of the plains is dominated by the Doabs. The river which is Chenab and the Jhelum and the Indus, which are used by the Pakistan, and the Ravi, Vyas, and Satluj, which is used by the India. And this section forms Doabs, and the Punjab, which is covered by five rivers. Doab is made of two words, two meanings. Two ab meanings river, two rivers. But Punjab is Panj meanings fives, and ab meanings river. So Punjab is surrounded by the five rivers. Can you name them? The Ganga plain extends between Ghagar and Tista river. First section, which is the Punjab plains, which is furthered by the Indus, and the second one is the Ganga plain, extend between Ghagar and the Tista river. Tista river, which is located in the Sikkim, in the parts of the India, and the Ghagar river, which is the Uttar Pradesh. It is spread over North India in the Haryana, Delhi, UP, Bihar, partially Jharkhand, and the West Bengal. In the east, particularly in the Assam, lies in the Brahmaputra plain. And then the Brahmaputra plain, these are the three sections. The northern plains are generally described as a flat land with no variation, and its relief is a plain. It is not true. These vast plains also have diverse relief features. Like according to the variation in the relief features, the northern plain can be divided into four regions. The rivers, after descending from the mountains, deposit pavers in the narrow belt of about 8 to 60 kilometer in the width, lying parallel to the slopes of the Sibalik. It is known as the Bhavar. So it is also divided into four regions. First one is the Bhavar. All the streams disappear in the Bhavar belt, where all the streams like a river, small parts, stream disappear, means they disappear, they not identified, and they are not present. South of this belt, the streams river Sri emergence creates a bait, swampy, marshy region, which is Roger Terai. This was a thickly forested region of the full of the wildlife, and the forest have been cleared to create agricultural land and to settle migrants from the Pakistan after the partition. Dudhwa National Park region is the Uttar Pradesh, I think. Uttarakhand, Dudhwa National Park. The largest part of the northern plains is formed of the alluvial. It have above the flood plains, the river, and present a terrace like the feature. This part is known as the Bhangad. The soil contains calcareous deposit locally known as the Kankar. And the second one is the Khadar. which is a newer, younger deposit of the fluid ones are the khadar. They are renewed almost every year and so fertile. Thus, idea for the intensive agriculture for the use for the survival. So we can conclude that northern plain is the region which for northern plain in India actually formed by the interplay of the three rivers, which is the Ganga, Brahmaputra, and the Indus. The first part is the Brahmaputra plain, second was the Ganga, and the third was the Brahmaputra plain. These are the plains, and this also variation like Bhangar, Bhavar, Terai, Bangare Khadar, which is the Khadar is a fertile soil. Next physical feature is the peninsular plateau. Actually, plateau is also a highland, and it is the physiographic features of the India, which formed after which is the oldest one. Let us know about the what is the its peninsular plateau is a tableland composed of the old crystalline, igneous, and the metamorphic rocks. So tableland means it is a plain and composed of the old crystalline with old rock. It is not made of the soil plain like it is made of the crystalline old structure and the igneous and the metamorphic rocks. It has formed due to the breaking and drifting of the good water land and thus making the part of the oldest land mass. You know that during the Carboniferous period, our Earth is divided into the two parts, which is the Gondwana land and Ankara land. And in the Mesozoic era, this India, the African some plate part, which is the part of the Indo-Australian plate, get collized with the Eurasian plate, and the land mass, which is the Gondwana land, is the south one. The plateau has a broad and the shallow valleys and the rounded hills, but it is a tableland, but it has also some variation. This plateau consists of the two word divisions, namely the Central Highland and Deccan Plateau. So if we look at map in India, in next page, I explain you that is divided into two. That is the Central Highland in the central part of the India and Deccan Plateau, which is in the south. This the part of the peninsular plating line to the north of the Narmada River covering a major area of the Malwa Plateau, which is also known as a highland. So we can say that a central highland is also known as a Malwa Plateau. The Vindhya range is bounded by the Satpura range on the south and the Aravalli on the northwest, and the further westward extension gradually range sandy and the rocky desert of the Rajasthan. So in the northwest direction, which comes Aravallis, and in the south direction there is come the Vindhya, and the further westward extension gradually merge with the sandy and the desert of the Rajasthan and the some part of the Rajasthan, and the flow of the river draining of this region, namely the Chambas in Vedwa Kane, and there is from the southwest to the northeast, thus indicating the slope. The central highland are wider in the west, but it narrow in the narrow in the east. The eastward extensions of the plateau are locally known as the Bundelkhand and the Bhagelkhand. The Chota Nagod Plateau marks the further eastward extension led by the Damodar River. Chota Nagod Plateau, which is located in the Jharkhand, marks the eastward boundary of the Central Highland. And the next one is a Deccan Plateau, which is a triangular mass. Lies to the south of the Narmada River. The Satpura range flanks is both the north by the Mahadev, Kaimur Hills, and the Makail range from the eastern extension. And the physical map of India you see in the Meghalaya. The Deccan Plateau is higher in the west and slopes and the eastward. Extension of the plateau is also visual. In the northeast, locally known as the Meghalaya, Karbi Anglong Plateau, and the northern Chachar Hills. Chachar Hills, which is in the Assam, it is separated by the fault from the Chota Nagor Plateau. Can you name the fault? Which is present in the West Bengal, which is known as the Malwa Fault. Three prominent heat ranges from the west to east are the Garo, Khasi, and the Jaintia, which are present in the Meghalaya. Then western. So this is the plateau peninsular plateau region of the India, and divided the India into the Central Highland and the Deccan Plateau. And then we move to the Ghats. So in map we know about the plateau. So this is the Deccan Plateau and this is the Central Highland. Central Highland, which is also known as the Malwa Plateau. You see that a Aravalli range in the eastward, in the northwest direction, and the Chota Nagpur Plateau in the eastward. And this is the plain, and the south used in the Vindhya range, and the another plateau is a Deccan Plateau, which is a triangular marsh, and divided by the western and the eastern Ghat, and there is Satpura range, and in eastern there is a Gado Khasi Jaintia is the prominent one. This is the all about the plateau. Let me know about the western and the eastern Ghats. Mark the western and the eastern edges of the Deccan Plateau respectively. We see in the map. Western Ghats lie parallel to the western coast. They are the continuous and cross through the past only. Locate the Thal, Bhod, and the Pal Ghats in the physical map of India. Here means that these are Ghats, and the western Ghats are the continuous, but eastern Ghats are the not continuous, because western Ghat is upward and the southern is the downward. The western Ghats are higher and then eastern one. So this is a written. Their average elevation is 9 to 60 meters as against 60 meters of the eastern Ghats. The eastern Ghat stays from the Mahanadi Valley, which is in the Odisha to Nilgiri in the south, which is Tamil Nadu. The eastern Ghat are discontinued and irregular and are dissected by the river into the Bay of Bengal. The western Ghat cause orographic rain by facing the rain bearing the moist windows along the slope of the Ghats. You know what the orographic rain. Orographic rain refers to the rain which occurred in the west direction of the mountain. Through the image, I want to convey you that what is the orographic rainfall. Suppose this is the mountain, and this is the mountain, and here this act as a boundary in western Ghat, which is the highest elevation according to the southern Ghats. So this is so this is the southern part of the India Deccan, and suppose here mountain, and this part is the western part is the high. This part is the high, and this part is the low. So cloud which formed in this region get not pass into the side of the this mountain. A rainfall occurred in the this region. This is the leeward this is the side, this is the leeward side, and this is the windward side where the rain not occurred. So this is the orographic rainfall which will be seen in the Ghats. So the western Ghats are the known by different and the local limbs, because these are the continuous, and in the many region it have a different lake. Like the western Ghat are known by different local names. The highest of the western Ghat are progressively increased north to south. The highest peaks increase the Anai Modi, which is a 2695 meter, and the Doda Beta 2637 meter, Mahendragiri 1501 meter. The highest peak in the eastern Ghats. Srivevi Hills and the Javedi Hills are located to the southeast of the Eastern Ghat and locate the famous hill station Udak Mandalam. I think this is the Udak Mandalam. Popular is the Uti, and the Kontram is the Tamil Nadu. One of the distinct features of the Udak Mandalam, I think this is the Karnataka, Kerala, Tamil Nadu. So coming to me, one of the distinct features of the peninsular plateau is the black soil area known as the Deccan Trap. So a black soil also found. This is the of volcanic origin. Hence the rocks are igneous. Actually, these rocks have been denuded over time, and they are responsible for the formation of the black soil. And this is the oldest. The western Arabian lies the western and the northern margin the peninsular plateau. And founded at the broken they extend from the Gujarat to Delhi southwest and the south direction. So this is all about the peninsular plateau.